let's focus back on hairlines though for the next chunk of who's back next, and specifically Ian, actually, and Charlotte and Shah, to talk about your favourite doctors. I think Mr. Matt Smith. Has there ever been this week in particular a time in Doctor Who history where so many people have been focused on one man's hairline? Now it started, Charlotte. I don't know if you saw this. Yeah, because last week when they were filming in Bristol, there was a man spotted on set, and photographs were taken of this figure in Bristol, and people assumed that this, although it isn't Matt Smith, that it could have been a stunt double.
Don't tell me he was wearing a tweed jacket or something. Oh, please.
A stunt double for the 11th Doctor. I know, JT. I mean, this is to me quite clearly just a bloke stood in the street who happens to be wearing something approaching. But obviously there is, immediately with Doctor Who fans, Charlotte, more once more. We've no sooner got David Tennant and Catherine Tate back, then Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, all starts trending. This did start people off. It could have been a double. It could have been this. It could have been that.
Look very close though, Dan. You got to admit, it's very close. And
not really.
Yeah, it does. It does look close. It does.
I think it's a combination of the tweed jacket and he's got a bit of a figure like Matt. Very roughly. Like if you squint very hard.
Why? No, I'm gonna laugh.
Okay, so we have. It seems unlikely to be. It is people reaching.
Yeah, it might not be.
There was a lot of people there.
It's an extra, probably getting his 350 quid for the day. Good on you, by the way.
Do you know what? It might be Russell just doing that deliberately, so get more attention. Well, let's talk about
what's the guy opposite him wearing, and what's everyone else wearing? Is anyone wearing something like Tegan would wear?
That looks like Neil Patrick Harris behind. I can't imagine there being too many top hats there that day, Shah.
Yeah,
but people in the chat say, I think this is non-news. It's plain lazy, I don't think there's necessarily anything in that, Paul Murray. I have to agree. But what added sort of fuel to the fire of Matt Smith's imminent return? We've heard here on Type 40 that Matt Smith has met with Bad Wolf somewhere in the UK. Now, obviously, we don't know whether anything was signed, was put down on paper. But it's understandable that attention has partly shifted to Matt Smith, and even more so this week when he was spotted out and about with a brand new haircut. He's been and had a trim, and anybody who's been following Matt Smith's career over the last few years will know that he's had every kind of haircut, hasn't he, Shah? He's had it particularly much longer lately for Morbius. He's been seen on red carpets and things. Now he's definitely gone and had a trim, and this is the most we've seen him sporting anything like the 11th Doctor's haircut in some years, isn't it?
You know what? I hope he's in it. I really do.
You what, sorry?
I hope he's in it because I love Matt Smith. I think he's.
Me too. I mean, we follow each other on Twitter. You've seen my tweet. You know. Anyone who does know me knows how much I love him. And if I saw him back, I think I would. There'd be a little happy dance going on. But even though he is my ultimate favorite, look at him. Even though he is my ultimate favorite, I want Capaldi back more.
So I want Peter back too.
Why is that? Because I want Matt Smith more. For some reason, I really miss his incarnation of the Doctor. But why do you want Capaldi back more?
I miss him too, but we've not had a. I mean, assuming they're going to bring doctors back, they'd be silly not to, wouldn't they? But Capaldi would just, I feel like would just have more gravitas and have way better chemistry with the other doctors. We've already had it with Matt Smith and David Tennant, and I just feel like Capaldi would be better. I mean, like I said, Matt Smith is my favourite Doctor, and I love him so much. But I just want Capaldi more. I think he'll just bounce better. They would have a way better chemistry.
I totally agree with you because we've had Matt and David together in the 50th. So
they're electric, aren't they? But
but to counter that though, I think why Capaldi and Matt are probably the most exciting prospects for a lot of fans is because since they left their roles as the Doctor, they've not come back for anything. Whereas Tennant, it was pretty couple years, I think, not that long after he was doing the audios. So it's like he's sort of lived that role. He's never really left it. Whereas Matt and Capaldi, they did their time and left. So I think it's just so fascinating. And have gone on to work. Yes, it's so fascinating now to think after all those years, what would they bring back? What would they do Like, because
Charlotte, it's been 9 years, isn't it? It'll have been the best part of 10 years by the time this is potentially on screen.
Yeah.
And Matt Smith is he's now 40 years old, obviously originally from Northampton, and despite the fact that he still probably is best known as the 11th Doctor, he's had a huge success in 2 seasons of The Crown on Netflix, which I think he got an Emmy Award nomination for playing Prince Philip in that. But started out on television around 2005, 2006 in the Philip Pullman adaptations with Billy Piper. Then he went into Party Animals, that show about the young politicians, wasn't it? That kind of thing before Doctor Who. But since Doctor Who, there's been several movies, some of which have done better than others, haven't they, JT? The smaller movies like Womb tend to have done better than the big movies like Terminator Genesis was an absolute disaster. But recently, and he's been in Morbius recently, that was another disaster. But he was also in Last Night in Soho, which was creatively very successful. People were really talking that up.
He was in Star Wars as well.
I think he generally makes great choices, Ian. I do, and he's got the Game of Thrones prequel coming up.
Yep.
So, what do you think, JT, about this? Matt Smith, is he the shoo-in that some think that he is, including me?
I really don't care. I mean, I honestly, I really don't. I'm very happy to take what they want to give me, and I'm really happy just to coast along. And I'm not. I don't care if they want to do that and they announce it. Fabulous, brilliant. But I'm not bothered. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if it's just Tennant and Tate, I'm delighted.
Is this going to be a 1-episode thing, or is there 3 episodes?
No. There's at least 3. There's at least 3
it's
episodes.
Not been officially announced, though, Dan. It's not officially been announced. We're speculating it's a mini-series.
Well,
I heard 4, but there's no credible
speculation. Nothing's been.
I don't know if you guys, any of you, JT, Shah, any of you have seen on Twitter, there've been shots of Rachel Talalay's clapperboards where episode numbers have been written in various. You've got scene number, episode number, and the highest count we've seen so far is episode 3. How do you feel about this, Simon? I know you once briefly met Matt Smith, didn't you? He's not your
hates him.
I know, but you're generally quite keen.
His parents were lovely. I met them more than I met Matt. Well, look, if everybody's excited for it, I'm excited for them. But am I excited? Of course I'm not. You know me.
Oh, no.
I'm a classic boy. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Once some classic Doctors are coming back, I will be excited. I can't help it. I'm made it for people that are excited about this. Because they are of that era, I'm made up for you because this is in effect your equivalent of the 5 Doctors for me in 1983. So that's great for you. But I'm not going to get very excited. I don't. This era of Doctor Who is not my thing. And
I agree. I know where Simon's coming from that, and I agree with Simon. If they suddenly announced that Tom, Peter, Colin, and Sylve were coming back, I'd be really quite excited to see them. They've never been seen together, interacting as their characters on screen. And also that for me was the letdown with the 50th anniversary, alleged anniversary with the Day of the Doctor, because that wasn't a celebration of 50 years. It was a celebration of just how long the reboot Who had been going. This is 60. This needs to celebrate, in my humble opinion, 60 years. I want to see Billy Hartnell. I want to see Patrick Troughton. I want to see John Pertwee. I want to see Tom. I want to see Peter. And I don't want them in just that sort of pushed in cameo roles at the end, which is a footage we've had redubbed.
Well, they have to, if they're going to bring them up, they have to do deep fake. They have to bring people in that.
Just bring them in. Colin's lost weight. Have you noticed? Colin's lost weight. Bring him in.
I think
wheel him in, you mean?
I think
McGann looks fantastic, though. He could still do it.
He could do that.
I don't think any deep fake would be needed for him.
I don't think you need deep fake. I think that's disrespectful. Just bring them in. And Tennant,
but they look old.
What we were saying the other week, Tennant has aged.
I don't think it matters. I think they
can explain it. Yeah, they've done it before.
Yeah, absolutely. They can explain
it. Moffat did explain it in Time Crash. He explained it, when he said, the reason that you're older is because I'm here. When Tennant met Davison.
We're prepared to accept that a massive space exists inside a telephone box. I think we can deal
with the age thing. The only thing that would worry me about it. Oh, sorry, Simon.
No, all I was going to say was, sorry to finish off, JT.
Sorry.
Look, we are all here today, and the 2 Charlottes who have come on board from New Who are here today because of those guys from the classic years that established the show, and to not include them and I've said this before now, and Stephen Moffat, if you are watching, I will never forgive you. You were disrespectful by not including them in the 50th, because they are the reason we are here. And come on, for goodness sake.
Well, we will get round to the classic Doctors in this segment. I agree with it too.
The only good thing that came out of that is the 5-ish Doctors, but if you've not seen it, anyone,
that was brilliant. Yeah,
brilliant.
That was brilliant.
Personally, I think that there is a massive public appetite for Matt Smith to return to this, probably even in the UK too, but absolutely overseas. He was phenomenally successful, obviously, in breaking the show in America back in 2011, 2012, when it became so successful on Netflix. He shortly to appear as a Daemon Targaryen in the Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon. So that's all been filmed. Season 1 of that is filmed. Matt Smith, for what we know, is free. And we believe he's met with them over at Bad Wolf. So it could well be... It could well be coming. That announcement. That announcement could well be with us quite soon, Jake.